Howdy everybody. As you can see, I'm back here with my scythe, going to do some work today. I'm actually involved in a pretty substantial project in which I'm cutting a swath through this very heavy brush and in difficult terrain because it's inclined, it has a lot of rocks and boulders in it. So I thought that I'd talk about how to deal with this sort of thing, how to deal with difficult terrain and how to deal with a difficult brush with a scythe. The goal of this project is there's a gully right here to my left, and it runs the entire length of the farm from the top to the bottom, and I'm cutting the swath right on the edge of that gully, and we're going to run a permanent sheep fence all the way from the bottom to the top. Now Greg Judy recommends this, that you cut the farm in half. That way it makes it easier for you to run temporary fencing directly off of the permanent fencing to define your paddock. So that's the goal of this project. But today I want to talk to you about how to actually do this job, because it's not an easy job. So the perfect tool for this job is the scythe. So I'm going to show that to you in just a second. It's very important that you understand that when we get started with the scythe, the first thing we want to do is hone the blade. Hone the blade. Honing the blade means that you're creating a smooth surface where the sharpened edge is. You're taking all the burrs and all the catch points, you're just smoothing them out. And that's all we have to do. We're honing the blade. We're not sharpening it. We're just honing it. It's important to remember to let the tool do the work. It's the temptation with the scythe is to always get in there and go like this, and you're not going to get anywhere that way. You let the tool do the work, let the blade do the work. That's the reason that you sharpen the blade and keep it sharp so it can do the work. But when you're dealing with brush, there are certain things that are not really appropriate for the scythe, and I'll show you in just a minute. There's a bush here full of thorns that I suppose I could probably go with this special blade. This is a special blade for the scythe, specifically to deal with brush like this. It's shorter than the usual scythe blade, and it's a little thicker as well. But I suppose that I could cut that with this. But why would I, when I have a tool here that will actually do a better job? And I have, just in case, I have my machete here, just in case if I need it. You know, if there's a sapling, a tree that I want to get rid of, it's easier to do it with the machete than it is with the scythe. So I'm going to go ahead, turn the camera around so that you can see what I'm going to be doing, and we'll get to it. Now, when you're dealing with brush in difficult terrain, the first thing you want to be concerned with is making sure that you have good footing. And that means that you may have to change your orientation to the grass or the material that you're cutting several times, just to make sure that you have good footing and you're approaching it from a good direction. Now that's very different from the usual scything that you see. If you look on the internet, you see people making these beautiful rows going up. When you're dealing with brush in difficult terrain, you can't be concerned with perfect rows and all of that. You need to be concerned with your safety, making sure that you have good footing and that you're using good technique. So here's one of the first things. This is on an incline. This incline is going up. The incline here is coming down. So we're doing both things. We're coming from this direction, we're coming down. From this direction, we're coming down. So the first thing you want to do, as I said, is make sure you have good footing. But then the next is that you don't want to be scything uphill. You don't want to be scything up against the grain. Why? Because the tip of the blade is going to get caught in the dirt. And if there's any stones or any rocks under the brush, you're probably not going to see them, and the tip of the blade is going to crash right into them, or the regular part of the blade. You don't want that to happen. So the better way to do it is to orient yourself such that you're coming down. Now you're coming down. The blade is above the ground. Here is a stone right here. I'm nowhere near the stone. I don't have to worry about hitting it. Here's another stone here. I didn't hit that either. That's a big stone. So again, you want to make sure you're going not against the grade, but with the grade when you're scything. So you have to be willing to adjust your orientation. Now the other thing, you'll notice, you may not be able to see it well, but here we have a bush full of thorns. And like I said, I could probably cut this with the scythe, but I'm not going to do it because it's not the best tool for the job. The best tool for that job are these little pincers here. All I have to do is come in here, push this down, make a couple of quick and easy cuts here, and that's it. Bye-bye. If I was trying to be a purist, say no, you have to use a scythe for everything. No, you don't. Well, now I'm going to take up the scythe because in the brush here, we not only have grass in the brush, we have grass from last year. That's old grass. It died, it fell down, but it's still there. It's tangled up with the new grass. And so this is all difficult stuff to deal with. Well, it's difficult stuff to deal with normally. With the scythe, it's fairly easy to deal with. So I'm going to show you real quick what I'm talking about. Again, we're going to let the scythe do the work. Now you may be thinking to yourself, aha, she just said that we shouldn't scythe against the grain, and that's exactly what she's doing here. She's going against the grain. No, I'm not. I'm not going against the grain. I have the scythe, and I'm pulling down with it. So yes, I'm not standing above and doing it, but I'm not going against the grain. In other words, I'm not trying to go this way against the grain with the scythe. So let me clear that up. So let's just take a little bit more here. Now I just entered a fairly easy area here, where it's mostly just grass, but right up above is another one of these bushes. And again, I'm not going to try to use the scythe to cut that down. So here I am again. I've come up against another one of these bushes, thorny bushes, and I'm not going to try to use the scythe to cut this down. No, I'm going to save my blade, and I'm going to use this other tool that is much more efficient. Okay, so now that that's been eliminated, I could take the scythe again and keep right on going, clearing my path up here. It's important, whenever you're using a scythe to cut brush and you're on difficult terrain, it's very important to consider what you're doing. Now, if I had tried to cut these with the scythe, it would have stopped me originally, and then I could have, hacked at it and probably gotten it. But what's the point? In the process, I've affected my blade. So I don't want to do that. So I take another tool that's much better at dealing with that kind of stuff. And if the trunk on this had been a little bit bigger, I probably would have used the machete instead. But I was able to use this pincer tool here to do it. So we're going to keep going. We're probably 3/4 of the way to the top now, and so in another couple of days I will have cleared this whole thing. Then I'm going to have to come down and remove some of these stones that are going to be in the way of us putting the fence posts up here, and then we'll run the fence. We'll be able to graze the sheep from the top of the farm all the way down to the bottom of the farm in paddocks, which is what the goal is. So if you find these videos to be useful and informative, please click the like button. That helps other people to find out about them too. And if you like the content that we're creating here, please click the subscribe button. That's the best way to support this channel. If you'd like to support the channel, the best way to do that is to subscribe. So thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.